The New Frontiers Leisure Centre. I've got so much writing here, I've missed it, yeah. New Frontiers Leisure Centre Club.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, the application before you is before committee as we've received 2 objections contrary to the officer recommendation of approval.
Thank you.
And it's looking to refurb and slightly extend and replace the double-storey extensions to the front elevation, a new single and double-storey extensions to the rear, and an additional storey added to the west of the existing leisure facility. So this is the application site edged in red. You can see the building centrally located within the site. It's located to the south of Southern Way with access from Paringdon Road to the east. And you can just see that access point on the eastern side where the site narrows. And to the west of the site, you've got the existing sports fields. This is the aerial location. And what we're really looking at here is the building centrally need changes to that. So the site is not located within a conservation area. It's not affecting the setting of any listed building. So just turning to some site photos. So this is a view showing the parking. This is from the entrance to the site. These are some of the existing elevations. The car parking. And you can just see the storage containers, and they are proposed to be removed on the bottom of that slide there. Okay, this is a proposed block plan. You can see the dark sections are the areas of extension to the property. So this is the existing and proposed elevations on the same screen, so you can see the difference between the elevation. This is the front elevation, so the existing is at the top and the proposed is at the bottom, so scale is in effect the same, just proposing some amendments and making it look, to coin a phrase, prettier. And this is the rear elevation, so the existing at the top and the proposed, and the same with the side elevations. Turning to the internal configuration, again, existing elevations of the ground floor is at the top of the slide and the proposed at the bottom. And again, the existing and proposed. So the key considerations are as listed in your report on page 67. So it's looking to provide a gym over 2 floors with necessary ancillary accommodation, and the applicant explains that the middle part of the building needs overhauling and upgrading, which requires a replacement of the front and rear facades of the building. Oh, didn't meant to take up the loss of hotel, sorry. It's the right slide, a couple of extra words, my apologies, there's no hotel. No hotel involved. Yeah, it's all fine. So there's no statutory objections to the application. And the considerations are listed on page 22. So the proposed additions are modest. They have no impact on the green wedge or green figure that result in any overbearing nature. In terms of the objections, they're listed on your report. Say pages 71 to 73, officers of the view that the actual proposals would improve the existing facility in terms of the qualitative and quantitative offer and keep the facility going, which provides valuable health facilities for people. They're modest when considering the size and scale of the building and seek the removal of some unsightly car storage and shipping containers, and from a design perspective is considered acceptable. The previous noise concerns, as listed by some of the objectors in your report, have taken place, are not taking place anymore, and there's proposed to be no alcohol sales. In terms of the hours of operation and the nature of the use, these are controlled by conditions listed as number 3 and number 7 in your report to obviously improve that relationship to the neighbouring residential properties. The parking is in accordance with the car parking standards and can accommodate up to 200 cars, so there shouldn't be that outspill onto the neighbouring roads, which was also a concern. It's felt that the previous parking problems appear to have been a result of the non-sporting events that have taken place in the past, but again, there's a condition to control that so they don't take place. So hopefully there will be an improvement to the local residents. And there's also a condition proposed in terms of cycle parking facilities. So the application before members is to approve, subject to the conditions listed on page 73 and 74 of your report. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you. Phil Snowden. 3 minutes.
All right, good evening. I'd like to speak tonight in support of the redevelopment of the Sports Club on Paringdon Road. First of all, I must declare an interest in the redevelopment as I'm club secretary of a youth football club that plays out there. I'm also a neighbour of the club, a parent of 3 children who have used the facilities there, the dance studios, gym and football pitches, and a football coach. I've probably spent too many weekends up there the last 10 years or so. This part of Harlow is very underrepresented when it comes to sports facilities, and all new projects seem to be concentrated on the other side of town. This is a great opportunity for a superb upgrade to the existing sports club, introducing facilities for new sports alongside upgrades for the existing ones. The sports club has been in existence for a very long time now, and although state-of-the-art at the time when BP opened it, the building is very tired and needs serious work done to it to bring it up to scratch. The plans that I've seen would appear to be the upgrade it needs. The alternative is that what happens to most of the rest of the sports clubs in Harlow, such as Cossers, Mole, Maypole, etc. It just lies empty for a decade and then is redeveloped for housing. Again, as someone very interested in local football, we've lost so many pitches in Harlow over the last 40 years, I'd hate to see that happen at Paringdon. I've seen some of the objections online, and in amongst some very genuine concerns, there's some comments that completely misrepresent the current situation at Paringdon. The new owners have been in charge for about 20 months now, and almost from day one they started to close bars and reduce the licensing hours. Since Christmas last year, they've honoured the pre-existing bookings and opened one bar Saturday lunchtime for 2 hours, but apart from that, the bars have been shut. So I failed to see where the drunken halls that have been reported an objection has come from. As for parking at the weekend, especially for football, there's been some problems in the past, but that has been getting better. There was some problems in May and June. I organised the football tournament up there, it's the biggest one in Essex. Unfortunately, the grass was absolutely saturated on one of the days, and people were parking outside. With the removal of bars, most of the adult football teams aren't coming back, so it's mainly youth football. There's probably about 2/3 of the existing adult teams not actually coming back to play there. So from a number of cars at the weekend, that will definitely improve. Thank you.
Yes, I'm hoarse already. Just a couple of questions. One about the bars. The bars, I thought that all the bars were, or I don't know, all the opportunities to buy alcohol had stopped, but the gentleman who's just spoken suggested that maybe occasionally there would still be that availability. So is it the case that there will no longer be a bar or bars?
So the situation is, at the moment, there are obviously bars existing that they can use, and that's covered by any previous planning conditions and or licence. What is before us now associated with this application is to have a new suite of conditions attached to it, and one of those conditions, condition 7, talks about not having alcohol sales within the premise. So when this is issued, this is when that condition would kick in. Up until that time, it's at the discretion of the operator as to whether they wish to have bars or not.
And second question, that it's not 20, oh sorry.
I'll go after you, please go.
You see, it's really hard to stop me, wasn't it, once I start talking. So it isn't 24 hour, obviously. I noticed that someone was a bit concerned about that. But the close would be 11 p.m., which still seems very late. Why 11 p.m.? That's
That's what's been put to us. That's considered acceptable from an environmental health perspective. There is a decent separation to residential properties, but it enables people to use the gym facilities maybe slightly earlier into the evening if they work unsuitable hours. But the noise coming from that is going to be limited because obviously there's no bars and no unsported related activities.
Just a couple of points of clarification, if I may, Chair. Obviously, I'm currently looking at pages 79 and 80 and 81, comparing the existing ground floor plan with the proposed ground floor plan. Obviously, the principle of the development is very positive and there's loads of merits to be lauded. I'm just wondering if officers could clarify, in the existing plan there appears to be, and when I zoom in it does get pixelated, so do correct me if I'm wrong, there's currently a disabled toilet and I assume changing facility in the existing plan, but when I look at the proposed ground floor plan, obviously I see male and female changing spaces, which is obviously great, but I can't see a disabled or perhaps space for disabled changing or toilets. It may be a mistake, but just to clarify, are officers satisfied that the proposal is, offers equal opportunities for all to access sport and leisure?
To be honest, I can't read the plans from here. I need to zoom in, which I can't do. All I can say is the officers considered it to be acceptable. It's something the applicants here and they've listened to, and they may want to take that when if there's any internal changes that they may need to do, they could do that.
Good, thank you, Chair.
Chair, very pleased to hear the guy from the sports thing, the first speaker, how good he was, how enthusiastic he was. That sort of thing sort of enlightens us a lot. However we thought before, he gave us a lot of encouragement, and I was pleased to have received that, and I will certainly be supporting it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I support the statement made by Councillor Livings. I think that this application will undoubtedly improve the facilities. It looks as if it will be an amazing gym once it's made, once it's constructed. It'll improve the appearance of the building, that external appearance of the building. I know this building quite well, and the removal of those metal containers that have been there forever will be a real positive. So I'm really pleased to see this application here with us. Thank you.
Just to echo Councillor Livings and Councillor Morrison's comments, I think providing opportunities for young people to take part in sport, for all young people to take part in sport is fantastic, and the application should be applauded for its generous provision of sports to young people in the area. Similarly, I'm reassured by the comments about parking, and my concerns have been alleviated following the representations we've received, so that's all very positive.
Thank you, Chair. Although this sports centre isn't in my ward, it's adjacent to it, and having been there a few times, I think the improvements are well needed. In the area itself, there is a lot of schools and young people, so it is a thriving family area around there. So the benefit to the community in mental health provision, being able to get out into green spaces, as the gentleman said, if we do let it go to rack and ruin, that's a missed opportunity for the next generation. I think we should support the improvement and really take a focus on our sports facilities in Harlow.
Very good. Anybody else? No? Can I say something then, just quickly? Again, fully support this. I think it's it's not a bad trade-off, is it? Get rid of the containers and the cars, and probably the bars as well, and get a gym. So I think it's a good trade-off, and I think thoroughly support it. So we'll get the recommendation is on page 73, and that's to approve the recommendation. All those in favour? It's unanimous. All right.